Good morning, saints. I am back with another video. I hope you all have been well. I wanted to briefly come up here this morning to give you this word and encouragement. I've been sitting on this word for quite some time. I believe some of you probably remember when I said something about prophetic nuggets 2 will be coming soon. Well, I've been sitting on that word and I can't sit on it any longer. God woke me up. Now, today is 10/24/24 at 7:40 in the morning. God woke me up 1:11 a.m. 2 mornings ago. And 1:11 is significant because I could not sleep. I could not go back to sleep for a couple hours. And I twisted and I turned and I was like, okay, God, I'm going to pray. So I prayed. And then I'm like, well, who do you want me to pray for? You know, what do you want me to pray for? And then he led me to my word. So I started reading the word. And then he led me to Jeremiah 1:11. And so I read it because I was like, okay, well, I woke up at 1:11. So this must be significant. So Jeremiah 1:11, it states, the word of the Lord came to me. What do you see, Jeremiah? Jeremiah said, I see the branch of an almond tree, he replied. So I was like, well, what does that mean? So I researched it, and it says in Jeremiah 1:11 and 12, let me go back into 12 too. 12 says, the Lord said to me, you have seen correctly, for I am watching to see that my word is fulfilled. Okay. So I researched it, and it says Jeremiah 1:11 and 12 states this prophecy uses a play on words that carries a vital truth for Israel as well as for us. The Hebrew word for almond, shaped, is also translated to watch. By seeing the almond branch, God assured Jeremiah that he is watching over his word to bring it to pass no matter the passage of time. So for me, the revelation I got was what God said, what he spoke to you, the vision he showed you, what he shared with you, that he has for you, it is so. Regardless if time has passed, regardless if it doesn't look like what God said, if it's not showing up as what God told you and showed you, what God said is true. What you heard was correct. Sometimes we allow people to come in and stir up doubt in our lives, especially if we speak too prematurely what God spoke to us, to others. They will place that doubt, that fear in your life or in your heart or in your spirit and say, God didn't say that, or God didn't tell you that, or that's not what God meant, or you didn't hear correctly. And then you'll start to doubt it with God because you're not seeing it. Well, God, did I not hear you correctly? I know your voice. Did I not hear you? Am I not hearing you anymore? Am I not, because it's not manifesting what you said, God. So when those times come, that's just a reminder to whatever God speaks to you, stop sharing it prematurely with people who don't hear from God like you hear from God. Because just because you heard it don't mean he told them to. Okay? We have to be so wise in this season, and our discernment has to be so sharp in this season that we cannot be speaking prematurely, especially to doubters and naysayers, people who do not hear from God. You have to be careful. Keep it tight. Keep it between you and God until he say yes, you can reveal it. Okay? Keep it between you and God. Then after that, I'm also say this to add to that. Keep it between you and God, but also be mindful that the people who you're sharing things with prematurely may not want that vision, that dream that you share with them to come to pass. Not everybody's praying with you or for you. There are some people who are praying on you, P-R-E-Y. So we got to be mindful. Like Joseph and his brothers, they did not want to see his dream come to pass. They immediately got jealous. When he shared his dream that God given him. So what do you think other people are doing when you share certain dreams with them, when you share certain visions to them prematurely that God is sharing with you, we have to be mindful in this season, God. Every season, we have to be diligent and mindful, because not everybody hears from God. And then there are some people who do hear from God and can see what God has for you, or can sense what God is planning for you. And they want to come in to distract you, or to destroy that promise, or to deter you from that promise. So you have to be mindful of that. So also, after I read Jeremiah 1, 11 and 12, then God wanted me to read the entire chapter, right? I'm not going to read verses 1 through 3, but I'm going to get, and you can go back and read it for yourselves, but I'm going to get into the part where it says the call of Jeremiah, because a lot of you, God is also calling. So this is not just for Jeremiah. This is for some of you too, or some of us. It says, the word of the Lord came to me saying, before I formed you, this is Jeremiah 1, verse 4. Chapter 1, verse 4. The word of the Lord came to me saying, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Alas, sovereign Lord, I said, I do not know how to speak. I am too young. How many of you have said that to God? I know Moses said it to God. He was very unsure of God's choice of choosing him to lead the Israelites out of Israel. But God said, no, it's you. You know, God is very different from he has a different mind from our mind. You know, he would choose the crazy things of the world to confuse the wise, the people who think they know it all. Okay. You know, so when God chooses you, do not doubt it for a second. And don't let other people make you doubt it either. Because they'll look at you like, well, how did he choose you? Why did he choose you when you did this and you did that and you did that? Or you ain't even done this yet. Or you ain't been, you know. When God calls you, he calls you. And all you need to do is be obedient to that call and move as God tell you to move. Okay. So, back to this. Verse 7, but the Lord said to me, do not say, I am too young. You must go to everyone I send you to and say whatever I command you. Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you. I will rescue you, declares the Lord. Then the Lord reached out his hand and touched my mouth and said to me, I have put my words in your mouth. See, today I appoint you over nations and kingdoms to uproot and tear down, to destroy and overthrow, to build and to plant. The word of the Lord came to me. What do you see, Jeremiah? I see the branch of an almond tree, I replied. The Lord said to me, you have seen correctly, for I am watching to see that my word is fulfilled. The word of the Lord came to me again. What do you see? I see a pot that is boiling, I answered. It is tilting towards us from the north. Verse 14. The Lord said to me, from the north disaster will be poured out on all who live in the land. I am about to summon all the people of the northern kingdoms, declares the Lord. Their kings will come and set up their thrones in the entrance of the gates of Jerusalem. They will come against all their surrounding walls and against all the towns of Judah. Judah is praised. I will pronounce my judgments on my people because of their wickedness in forsaking me, in burning incense to other gods, and in worshiping what their hands have made. For those people who are worshiping sage, crystals, beads to protect them, going to tarot readings, doing witchcraft, working roots, as the old school people say, playing with the occult, horoscopes, and zodiacs. Now that one, I have to admit and be transparent. I have done that. I have done the horoscopes. I have, read the horoscopes. I have believed in the zodiacs. I used to say, what's your sign? Or I'm an Aries, this, that. Well, God had dealt with me. He has been dealing with me on that. And if y'all see, I do not proclaim that any longer. I do not. When my birthday come around, I don't be like Aries queen, Aries this, Aries that. God has dealt with me about that, y'all. God said, God said, there shall not be no other gods before me. And he means what he say. And when we look at the world today and what's going on and all this idol worshiping and all this devil worshiping and all this occults that's going on, God is not playing in this season. He is rebuking in this season. Openly rebuking in this season, y'all. He's not playing. Just look around, pay attention. This is from God, okay? And it's in his word. Go read it for yourselves. All right, he says, where was I, Lord? I will pronounce, this is 16, verse 16. I will pronounce my judgments on my people because of their wickedness and forsaking me and burning incense to other gods and in worshiping what their hands have made. 17, get yourself ready. Stand up and say to them whatever I command you. Do not be terrified by them, or I will terrify you before them. Today I have made you a fortified city, an iron pillar and a bronze wall to stand against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, its official, its priests, and the people of the land. They will fight against you, but will not overcome you, for I am with you and will rescue you, declares the Lord. You guys, first, I always have to digest the word first, right, when it gives it to me. That word hit me like a ton of bricks, because when I say I've been sitting on this word, I've been sitting on this word because of the warfare that I dealt with after Prophetic Nuggets 1. But let me tell you this. The warfare of being obedient to God is nothing compared to the warfare or what you have to deal with when you're disobedient to God. The wrath of God, let me say. When you are disobedient to God, the wrath of God is worse than the warfare you will feel and endure by being obedient to God. So this word was for me initially, because I was afraid to share Prophetic Nuggets 2. So this is Prophetic Nuggets 2, right? But God had me to come around with it another way. But I was afraid because of the warfare I endured from Prophetic Nuggets 1. The enemy was shook after that word. God dealt with some stuff in that word. He uprooted some things in that word. And the enemy was upset with me because God used me to speak it. So I was afraid of that warfare. But God just unctioned in my spirit, and he commanded me through this word, saying, you better speak what I told you to speak. Because while you were in your mother's womb, I formed you. I knew who I'm calling you to be. And because I created you, because I made you, because I formed you, and I made you to be who you were going to be. I made you a prophet before you even knew what a prophetic meant. So when I tell you to speak something, and to whom I tell you to speak it to, you better be obedient and speak it. Because if you don't, the warfare that you're going to feel by being disobedient, the wrath of God that you will feel by being disobedient will be worse than the warfare you will feel by being obedient to God. So I said, okay, God, I will no longer sit on this word. I'm going to speak what you said. So for those people who are dealing with the occult, tarot, witchcraft, sage, burning your sage, messing with your beads or wearing your beads for protection or messing with these crystals, you better stop it. Or having other gods before him, idling your money, idling your status, idling celebrities, you better stop it. God is not playing. Okay? His word is true. So I came to speak his word today because the wrath does not feel good. It is not good. It is worse than the warfare of being obedient. So please be obedient. God's speaking to you guys. If God is calling you to something, if he is calling to speak something, to share something, please be obedient and do so. This is what this is today. This is what this message is. Please be obedient and do so. And it's also to warn those who are dibbling and dabbling and stuff that they shouldn't. I know it seems innocent because I used to think horoscopes was innocent and the zodiacs was innocent, but it is not. It is not. So be mindful, research it, pray, ask God for more discernment, and be obedient to his will and his way for your life. I love y'all. That's all I have. I love y'all. Thank y'all for supporting continuously, tuning in, sharing. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, click the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a video. I will be back with another word when the Lord releases me. Thank you.